There is a good reason why I have this posted on my blog, the header. It's a good reason why I have this stuff right there, right at the top of the blog. I zoom myself a little bit into it like this, and I make it bigger, and I'm going to make it like this, big. Yeah, this is about the Iran. I hope that Iran took a note about this stuff here. Gog and Magog. I hope that you took the note, talking to Irani people here, about this stuff, because they equaled me. If you read this right down below, I'm going to read for you. It's how Jews hallucinated in my face, together with the British animal you see here, will destroy me, equaling me to Satan in front of corrupt politicians. The Jew legend of Gog and Magog pointing at me next to Iran. These people equaled me with Iran. Is how it all ends. And then I give you the revelation, the Jewish revelation 27. This is what Netanyahu repeated in my face over and over again. And he had some Jews from the USA, from United States of America, that they were very certain on how I get defeated in the end, and so on and so forth. Deceived by Satan, etc., 1,000 years imprisonment, released, Satan rallies, and you have a bunch of Jews now releasing their media about how the Lucifer is coming out and so on. And so I guess that based on a Jewish legend, Jews win. That's what Benjamin Netanyahu was brainwashing me. Benjamin Netanyahu told me that this issue here, this should concern Iran very much. I hope it does concern you. So you're in a big trouble right now. I would be too. Palestinian man said killed by IDF in Gaza. Gaza death toll suppresses 72,000. Do you understand me, this stuff? You do understand. I post about this Jewish atrocities on a daily basis. That's what I do. I continue to remind people on my blog that what you witness is what they negotiated. And this stuff here, based on Benjamin Netanyahu. Benjamin Netanyahu. This guy here, this guy personally told me that sadistic killing of the Gazan people, the sadistic killing on the West Bank, will be designed to nuke Iran out of existence. And this picture here that I see, this one right there that you see right there, Donald Trump, this here, condemning Trump after he deletes Obama. No, not this one. I got it. Donald Trump insisted that once I see this picture right there, he not much longer won't be even a president anymore. Donald Trump contemplating on leaving a presidential seat. That's why you have all those health scare parallel garbage that Donald Trump, that's like a emergency fuse that Donald Trump would use to disappear, basically, if necessary. And so that's a very dangerous picture when Donald Trump demonstrated me during MK Ultra this picture, for which he suggested he won't be president much longer. Dangerous, but I'm going to explain to you. This one here confirms even more, with Donald Trump going on
self-deleting offensive, making it basically for everybody to understand that will be the best thing for one to go. He didn't do this. He didn't do this without a mistake or something like that. This issue right there that you see right there, whatever video that was, and I don't even know what video that was involved in MK Ultra. So why would a Donald Trump do this stuff? Let's go back. Everything that you see in respect to American politics was coordinated between Donald Trump, Democrats, and so on. They all coordinated it. Donald Trump is doing this stuff simply because Donald Trump wants to nuke Iran out of existence. And I know so because at one point in time I told Donald Trump that he should nuke Iran. During MK Ultra I told him that he should nuke Iran. It had to do with Ukraine, it had to do with other issues in which Iran implicated itself, and Donald Trump told me, what do you think I'm doing? What do you think I will be used for? What do you think that I will do? He told me, the only thing that I have to do is, I have to do it in such a way so that it would look that Iran deserved to be nuked. That's why I told you a little earlier that this is a very, 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 very dangerous picture right there. This is a very dangerous, for Iran, this is a very racky, dangerous behavior that Iran shouldn't fall for it. You should not fall for Obama. You shouldn't fall for the Democrats. You should not believe that what Donald Trump is doing is setting you free, is giving you an advantage, a leverage over Donald Trump or something like that. You need to play safely because the man that you see up there, the man out there is looking for the way with his comrade, with his brother Benjamin Netanyahu to nuke you out of existence in exactly the way as I pointed you out right here. This here, Gog Magog. Do you know what the Benjamin Netanyahu, that's a pervert, by the way, that's a very, very sick, mentally ill Jew, pervert. Do you know what he stated to me? He said to me, the Israel goal is not to, he also stated me this at one point in time, is not to exterminate the Gaza people entirely. The goal of my administration of the Israel is to leave Gaza people suffering, watching, dying in a misery, and use, as I stated, to nuke Iran. And not only to watch in a misery, not only to watch in watch dying each other in Gaza, but literally to accept. Now, Benjamin Netanyahu insisted that he wants the war, the big war in the Middle East. He stated me that he wants to take over the land in Syria, that he wants to take other lands, and in Egypt, and in other parts, and in Lebanon, and so on. He wanted a big fucking war. He wanted a war with absolutely everybody. And he said, he referred to that stuff as he wants to have Gaza people, Palestinian, whatever is remaining of the Palestinian people, watch how Israel is taking over other parts of the land from the much bigger countries. Syria, nuking Iran out of existence. Egypt, Lebanon, and so on. This is the grand plan of the Benjamin Netanyahu. What Benjamin Netanyahu, or I should say Israel, did to Gazan people, to Palestinian people, are two things. One is to exterminate them, expel them, as he expressed himself. And then on the other hand, create the circumstances which would cause suffering in Iranian people as they would observe Palestinian people slowly die through extermination procedure. And this is why the video, through negotiations, which you get to see these days, this is a very, very, very sick stuff that I am talking about. Through negotiations with a Donald Trump. Can you negotiate with a Donald Trump? That's a Satan. That's a Lucifer. Can you negotiate with a Lucifer? Can you negotiate with a Lucifer? Can you negotiate with a Satan? Well, the Gaza people, the Palestinian people, negotiated with the Lucifer, with the Satan from United States of America. They negotiated with the White House Satan. They negotiated with the Joe Biden. They negotiated with the Donald Trump. There is no difference. Donald Trump couldn't do what Donald Trump did if it wasn't for Joe Biden. Joe Biden did 80% of the job. Joe Biden was the one through whom initiative even took place to continue to finance and arm Israel during clearly what was annihilation, extermination procedure of the Gazan people. So can you negotiate with the Satan? I don't think so. I don't think you can. Because Donald Trump is not out there to negotiate with Iran. Donald Trump is a Jew. He might not be technically a Jew, but this is the man whom Israel celebrated as their king. So to say, when Donald Trump continued to hijack me to Israel throughout MK Ultra, they greeted him like a king of the Israel. So the question here is, because it pertains now, today, it pertains to this nuclear program, I would suggest Iran to abandon it. I would suggest Iran instead to invest the money into development, schools, factories, manufacturing, production, economy, in other words. That's what I would say to Iran. Do it. Iran, if it's not going to be economically developed, intelligent, technologically developed, upgraded, will fail. Even if Iran would destroy Israel, which it never will, at this stage not, vice versa, however, it can happen on a click of the button, Iran would still not succeed. Because the economy, the money, the universities, the stuff, does not depend on destruction of Israel. It depends on the society overall. And once you become a really developed society, you don't have to ask other people to either give you nuclear bombs or to invest your entire money, everything being internationally isolated, just so you do something that in the end is going to destroy you. You don't profit nothing from this politic. You don't profit anything. The way you profit is basically by stepping another step backwards and let Gaza, whichever way it will be, resolve itself, either through international community standing up to Israel, you, through these negotiations, appeal to international community in respect to Gaza and pressure international community through stepping backwards rather than stepping forwards and be destroyed. Because you will be destroyed. The man who took a presidential seat in the United States of America, Donald Trump, exclusively took this presidential seat to destroy you. He hallucinated something about also destroying Russia, but facts which we see are taking place in Ukraine clearly are suggesting not exactly Trump's support for Ukraine to the degree that Russia would be placed at stake at risk, etc., etc., etc. It does not look that Donald Trump is in the game for Ukrainians' sake. It looks to me that Donald Trump was given by Vladimir Putin, as soon as Donald Trump took a presidential seat, yet another year of war with Ukraine. So Putin basically told Donald Trump, we are good, we can continue to go on as it is for about another year, basically, in a comfort zone without any problems. They communicate, they coordinate everything, they coordinate. So the one that is targeted in this case, that is listed as to be destroyed, this is Iran. And I'm doing everything possible I can. This is not, obviously this is not against Iran. I was labeled by Benjamin Netanyahu, by the Knesset. They were giving me ultimatums. I was practically labeled in the same category as Iran. They do not like me. It is just as simple. They try to intimidate me, make my mouth shut and so on. Terrorize me. Use my father inside of the home for elderly people to give me the ultimatums, what to write and what not to write about Israel. Do you understand that my father was thrown not only because of the Serbia and Russia in the home for elderly people, but also because of Iran? Demanding from me to shut your mouth and this and that and so on and so forth. These are the crazy circumstances that you do to somebody that they actually refer to me during MK Ultra as a journalist. But what kind of a journalist I am like this, basically? I was more than a hostage. I was more like a hostage, not as a journalist under this type of circumstances. By the Jew here in Europe giving me ultimatum, basically saying to me things, including the outcome of my case on how it will be and how it shall be if I would stand up to Israel and continue to talk in the benefit of Palestine, Palestinian people, Gazan people. You will be, based on a prophecy of the Israel, destroyed, basically. You will be destroyed in a style of Gog and Magog, basically, together with Iran and this and that. It's a warning. It's my warning to Iran to play smart and outsmart your enemy. The entire world can see Jew misery. Everybody can see Jew, the misery the Jew does. It used to be time when I alone suffered in the misery. Today, the world can see right out on open what the Jews are doing to the people in West Bank and what the Jews are doing to the people in Gaza. Today, the world understands that Jew translated. If you translate the word the Jew, it translates into the misery. American people, unlike ever before, understand that that country, United States of America, is indifferent from what Palestinian people suffer on day-to-day basis in Palestine, except it's taking gradual turn, and it already took enormous turn with a lot of Americans homeless. Look at my case, what they did with me. Look how the Jew was coming inside of our house in Novo Mesto. How the Jew stalked me from United States of America. The Lucifer Satan wanted to make sure that I'm dead. Look how the Satan Jew from United States of America, Central Intelligence Agency, Federal Bureau Investigation, negotiated with the Slovenian police on how it shall be done with me, and it will be done with me. You don't believe me? Look what's happening in Palestine today with the Palestinian people. I should say, you didn't believe me. Today you can see on open the definition of the misery. What is the definition of the misery? When you see the misery
When you see them miserable, you see them. Who do you see when you open your house? Who is the most miserable people in the United States of America when you see? As a group of the people, as an ethnicity. Which ethnicity in the United States of America is the most miserable, diabolic people? Which one is it? They even train them to stay away, to walk away when they don't get whatever they want. Which is the ethnicity? I'm talking to Americans. Which your ethnicity is the most miserable, satanic, Luciferianic ethnicity that you have in the United States of America? Mentally ill people, Satanists. Which one is mentally ill people that you go on a boardwalk and you see them talking to themselves? You go in the store, they come in the store and they make the big deals. They go and they fight with your salespeople. It's all kinds of stuff that goes on. Wherever the fuck you go, you see them fighting, arguing, bitching, stealing taxpayers' money. Which is the one that regulates you? Which is the ethnicity in the United States of America, group of the people that is making the whole country sick, miserable? And what you can see actually is taking place right out on open throughout the Palestine today. Which is the ethnicity? Understanding these things will help you understand your life yourself so that you can take steps that are necessary to take. Donald Trump did not take this step. Donald Trump did not become president because of you white people. Oh, I'm a white people. I vote for Donald Trump and so on. Donald Trump blended his issues into something that is of the same value as it was to George W. Bush, which is of the same value as it is of the Prince Charlie. I should say your King Charlie. And he got it. Because that's all it takes. It takes for the majority to see it crazy. And that's how he got it done. He made a noise. He made a shit all over the place. Like every fucking clown does. A lot of dust. And he won't last for much longer. He won't last much longer. His goal was to step down. His emergency fuels were his health concerns. I talked to you about this stuff that he demanded. Donald Trump demanded from me to let him go through the health issues. He is at this point foremost for one thing to finish. And that's nuking the Iran before he's gone. And that's exactly that again brings us back to the picture. To this picture right here. To this shit here. To this Gog and Magog story that I wrote about on a header. You read the fucking header, the stuff that I did. I did it for the reason. I did it to remind you about Benjamin Netanyahu and Donald Trump, about their whereabouts inside of our house, about the stuff that went on. So you, and for what Gaza is being used for, are not going to get nuked out. Iran is about 8,000-year-old culture. 8,000 years old. Don't get distracted by some country that calls itself as Israel. Don't get destroyed. Don't get nuked out of existence. Don't get wiped out because of the Ruskies. Don't get destroyed. Don't get nuked out because of Vladimir Putin. Don't get into that kind of mental game when they all coordinated, negotiated one another, how they're going to drive you crazy and so on, radicalize you. Don't get into that stuff, because once you're going to get into that stuff, it's just going to be a one-way street. It's so fucking easy for America to destroy you. You talk here about attacking American military, it's already a big, crazy fucking shit mistake. You don't have nothing to attack anybody with. You're going to attack, and the only thing that's going to happen is Tehran is going to be nuked. You pray God that you don't kill American people, American soldiers, because they have the weaponry, and not only them, Israel has weaponry that with a click of the button If that stuff is going to fly in your direction, you will be dying like a fleece to some country, some nation that existed 1,000 years ago. Probably that's not what you want to do. You probably want to use brain. You probably want to use tactic. You probably want to do whatever your ancestry did. That's basically utilize logic, brain, and just like other countries, get yourself up instead of remaining on the knees. You probably want to invest your money into universities, companies, and that will bring more investments for you and people interested in Iran, rather than to radicalize yourself and try to complete the task, which is, I'm not going to say the task impossible, because you have scientists, people that can do that stuff, but you have to throw it on a scale, and you have to say, is it worth it? What do I get if I complete this and I get nuked? Actually, under the circumstances they are, you might not even complete this stuff. You might get nuked before you even complete that stuff. And is it worth it? Is it worth it to put everything at stake when Donald Trump was literally selected, appointed by the people like this to do the job, to finish the job for them? I don't think it is, if you ask me. So that's all I wanted to say. These negotiations, I would end them at once. I would tell them that I don't want any kind of nuclear program. If United Nations disagree with a nuclear program, I will not address America, but I would say if United Nations disagree with this nuclear program, they don't allow us to continue with it, what we will do is we will place an end to it. It is simple as this. And instead divert investments into country, create more universities, more educated people. You know, Japan is not manufacturing nuclear bombs. But if Japan needed to create nuclear bombs, probably wouldn't take Japan 1 month to create nuclear bombs. Do you understand? Development, strong economy, a lot of scientific people, science, make things so much easier. What you see this is a big deal, as a big deal to you, is completely useless and very difficult task to complete. Even almost task impossible to complete, when under different circumstances it would be like you kill a fly on the wall, basically. This is what I already tried to tell you, this is what I try to warn you about, and it's dangerous. And you need to understand the danger, and you need to understand the philosophy of Benjamin Netanyahu. And you need to have Gazan people, Palestinian people, take into account that they are responsible for the people who run the country. Because as it is, when it comes to whatever took place in Gaza, which was the inside Israeli job, they corrupted the people, they got the people, and they created a false flag operation that give Israel the right to attack with everything. Now, not with what we have seen have taken place, but the ability to claim that they are victims of genocide from whatever is left out of Palestine, basically from Gaza, attacking Israel and doing this stuff. So they have to take in, just like you in Iran, in consideration that it should be responsible people that must run the country. And the most responsible people, if Iran, you will, for Gaza, to run Gaza and Western Bank, in my opinion, would be connection with the Turkish state, with the Turkey. Turkey will not allow any kind of craziness, madness, and they do have ability to control bullshit. Rather than, and give Gaza the ability to renew itself, to replenish itself, to restructure itself again, for people to end the misery that they are exposed to. Basically, it means the existence. And so they have to do their part too. You did your part, but going beyond that stuff, it can be lethal for you. Because Donald Trump is His purpose, whatever is left out of the presidency, is just to nuke you out. He's not going to do nothing for people of Palestine. Actually, I should say people of Ukraine. He's not doing anything over there. They already have agreed with the Democrats that they're going to sign the peace with. That's what Kamala wanted. Kamala wanted peace with the Putin. She didn't want any kind of war, anything like that. Everything is the way I told you. The thing is happening the way it will be. And so try to be smart and not get destroyed, really, because of some fucking people that you have seen, they congregated and they were doing this stuff. And don't get yourself into that stuff. It's not worth it. I prefer you to be a good friend with Ukraine. It would be better for you to be a good friend with Ukraine than with Russia. It would be better for you to be a good friend with China and with Saudi Arabia and with the countries that are all around, rather than to, to provide the excuse for the Israeli wars on the Middle East. It's a trouble. It's a problematic. If you don't have what it takes, you don't even have what it takes. Israel does have what it takes to destroy you and other countries in the region and blow the Europe. But you don't even have what it takes to destroy tiny little Israel. And so even if you would destroy the tiny little Israel, you would not destroy anything. Remember who brought the Jews back to, I'm not going to say back, I'm going to say just remember who brought the Jews to what was Palestine just recently, and still is Gaza, the remains of the Palestine and West Bank. Remember who brought them there. You don't accomplish nothing by doing that. You accomplish when you have international public community behind you. And international community is able to see on a day-to-day basis the stuff that I already spoke earlier in this video. The misery. The misery. The final blow to the Israel, if ever it were to happen, will come from direction of United States of America, where people started to wake up. When they'll turn them back, when they'll have this crazy child pay for its own craziness, the Israel is going to back down. That's what Israel is. Israel is acting irresponsibly, shitty, in a face of international community and of Americans, simply because Americans continue to cover expenses. If the Israel was an independent state, there would be no fucking partners to trade with. There will be nothing left out of Israel very soon, because paying the bills to finance the wars like those that Israel is financing, it takes a much bigger country than Israel. When you become internationally isolated, blocked, they throw the embargo on you. As you, Iran, know this very good, it's very, very difficult to play wars. But the Israel is not Israel. The Israel is entire United States of America, where people are enslaved. You have to play smart, or you're going to have a serious problem, because this snowman here, this snowflake guy here, he's in it only for one thing. He is in it to nuke you out of existence. That's all the fuck there is to it. Then he's going to step down, and there'll be others that will take, just as I already explained to you, those with whom he already made an agreement. That's right, Obama, I should say Kamala Harris. That's fucking correct. And that's already something I already told you before it's going to happen. Donald Trump's health concerns are used like an emergency fuse he would use to disappear. My case, myself, I'm not merciful toward Donald Trump. I'm hunting this man. This man should have been locked up already a long time ago. And I know that FBI and CIA do have to apologize. My case. And I know that days of Donald Trump are counted, therefore. Donald Trump's presidency, Donald Trump's days is not really the presidency that it's a lasting presidency. This is a shit legacy that United States of America is basically left broken. He broke American economy and exposed entire America as a racist shithole. Hypocrisy, racist, and much worse than that, if it can be worse than that. The days of the American president like this, American president like that, that's not sustainable. And the numbers talk, and those numbers, they don't benefit Donald Trump. They don't benefit this type of American politics. George Bush managed to get away with it. He somehow managed to hide himself behind all kinds of issues. But Donald Trump just desperately conscripted this pro-white community in the United States of America for something that is actually George Bush somehow didn't manage to finish the job. Be careful with Donald Trump, because he's out there exactly for what I told you. It's just my warning. It should have told you that the shit that Donald Trump raced through the ice, patrolling the streets, National Guards and stuff, and war in Greenland, and war in Panama, and war here, war there. This already should have tell you that his presidency is not a lasting one. It should already tell you that for every fucking war that takes place, every ethnicity in the United States of America get its share. And the Democrats, they just like that kind of crazy ice shit. They like that kind of stuff, this kind of Minnesota and Norwegian like that Nobel diarrhea shit. Nobel Prize diarrhea, and they just like it like that. Did you see, by the way, by any chance, did you see Germans doing that stuff? Did you see Norwegians doing that stuff? Did you see any Europeans or British? No. They continue to present themselves in a positive light, in a democracy, and so on. It's just American whites that have fallen for this type of. They refer to that as. It's not gonna even come to me. It's a movement that was under George Bush. It was it doesn't come to me. It's called Neo. It doesn't come to me right now. You don't want any kind of neo shit like this. Neo shit was used to hide the stuff. It's let's just say Nigel Farage is considered as a conservatist. It's a neoconservatism. It's like neoconservatism. There's another one. George Bush knew how to hide himself from these things. He knew how to conservative, okay, let it be conservative. He knew, it's a neoconservative, he knew how to hide his identity. Donald Trump is just desperate to finish whatever George Bush started. You don't want any piece of that stuff. You want to come here and what you want to do is you want to read about this Gog and Magog. You want international community on your side. What the Gaza people did, the Gazan people, the suffering of the Gaza people, Jew finally admitted they killed 70,000. All through 72,000 was killed, and entire Gaza burned, demoled, destroyed. Over 180,000 people wounded. Numerous already left homes, starved to death, freezing to death in Gaza. Israel did its little thing. 70,000 is not a small number for such a small piece of land. It's a big fucking atrocity, and it exposes Jewish character. It exposes the Jew for what it is. It exposes what you see in Gaza is a misery. No, the people live in a misery, right? Benjamin Netanyahu insisted that they will live in the misery till they're gonna finally leave. This is another face of Benjamin Netanyahu. He wanted the Gazan people to experience such a hardship, difficulty to live on their land, that they will move more because of numerous that already left, appealing to them to just go. That's how disgusting this stuff is. And that's why I urge Gazan people, Palestinian people, do partner with the Turkey, because you don't have much time left. That is a very serious military authority that Israel under no circumstances would like to be the neighbor with. All through the Israel even contemplated on destroying Turkey. International society became aware about what this so-called Israeli state is all about. And they don't like it. They don't like it. And American people get to see through this crisis what their American democracy, for the first time they get to see what their American democracy actually really looks like. It's a wake-up call. It's the first time they get to actually see what they are worth, basically. If anybody was to immigrate to the United States of America, Americans can't say this is a land of honey and milk and the way it used to be before. Everybody knows what this shit is. Everybody gets to see it. Everybody understands it. People know my case. They see how it was, what they were coming here for, and what the circumstances they created for me here, even here in my homeland. I did explain on the blog what they were coming all along for. It's a sickness they are spreading throughout the world, infestation of mental illness, with numerous Americans suffering in the United States of America. Racism. Stuff exploded. Everything that was in a dormant state is what they say. The cancer is dormant. Everything exploded now. It came from all directions. It all came out. It became happy. It surfaced. The stuff they were talking to me is going to be the case with me, for the whole world to see what's going on. So you might not want to be in such a hurry to have a war with Americans. You're talking about Americans, that you're gonna blow Americans up. You don't have what it takes to blow Americans up. And if you're gonna blow Americans up, then this man here is gonna be very, very happy, this guy here. Do you think he cares about Americans? This guy doesn't give a three fuck about Americans. This guy doesn't give a three fuck about Americans. He cares about one thing. Don't make it happen. This man that you see right there, this Benjamin Netanyahu and this Israel, do you know what's happening? People around the world no longer want to know about the existence of the Israel. That's what's happening. People around the world are cursing the name Israel. That's what's happening. He's in a lot of trouble. The Israel itself is in a lot of trouble because Israel itself no longer has what it had. I personally supported Israel. I personally saw myself in Israel. I personally believe that Jews, just like everybody else, also have the right to be their place, their land, and this and that. Well, I see this as a trouble. Very, very serious trouble. Because it sprinkled out on a broad daylight with absolutely everything these people had to demonstrate the world what they are all about and where the world is heading to together with them. They took the spike of the neo-Nazism. They took initiative in the neo-Nazism. They took initiative in imperialism, colonialism. Just as was before in the past we have seen other groups doing this kind of stuff. This time it was Jews that actually took openly the initiative. Jews were always colonialists. Jews derive literally from the human slavery trait. This was the profession in Ukraine. In Crimea, Jews traded with Ukrainians. This is with the Eastern Europeans. This is the tradition. Tradition that did not stop and continued throughout enslavement of hijacked, abducted females from the Eastern Europe. These people always had something filthy. They always had something dirty, the filthiest stuff going on. But through it all, because of this World War II suffering, because of the Holocaust, which they went on to privatize, by the way, by simply de-associating themselves through the actions that we get to witness in real life from other groups who also were subjected to the Holocaust. Today it feels as if the Holocaust only belonged to the Jews, which is totally, totally wrong. With numerous Russian, Slovenian, Hungarian, Czech, Polish, Roma, all kinds of nationalities, ethnic groups that were thrown behind the gates of the Dachau, of the Auschwitz. It feels today, because of people like this, that the only one who suffered during the World War II were Jews when it comes to the Holocaust. And that's a total, not misconception, it's bullshit. It's a bullshit. It's a bullshit. And the world saw it. The world see it on day-to-day basis. You know, Ursula von der Leyen, who at one point suggested how much she likes Irani people. On the other hand, also, she posed next to Irani children to me. Just sweet of her. How would you not like them and this and that? The thing was, there was also something filthy about Ursula von der Leyen. She went on to question why Iran should exist. Iran threatened Europe with a nuke and this and that, tra la 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 la. It's no good for Ukraine, and so on and so forth. This is a Zionist. And she played her role very, very good. She played her role in such a way that fooled me to the degree that I didn't know about what the fuck went on between Iran and her, about the weaponry, Irani weaponry and so on, that Iran used on Israel. I didn't even know where Iran, thanks to her claims, thanks to her visits to Iran, Irani know about the stuff that went on. What to think, how to think about it all. That's how confusing this shit was. She deems that Europe would be definitely better without Iran. So what you might want to do is, you might want to really, really reconsider the whole thing. There is nothing much that goes on from Germany. This is where Merz was another individual who figured out that Germany would get no assistance from the United States of America if it would side with the Palestine. And when he met, he wouldn't get any assistance from United States of America. He pointed at Ukraine and demanded from me to see myself in what I just explained to you. You see, and therefore alone Germans could not be capable to defend Ukraine. It was further cry. And then it was another cry, as you Iranians alone were present. What to do with the Jews? And they started to threaten that if that will be the end of the Jewish state. The Jews will return back to Eastern Europe. There would be back, this was again a Gog-Magog issue, this one here. Gog-Magog issue, which some of your Iranis, and it doesn't really bother me, this stuff does not even bother me when you say that they're going to have to return back to the Eastern Europe. That shit doesn't scare me. That stuff doesn't scare me. It does not scare me. It was meant as a, that's the end of the Eastern Europe. Oh, it's going to be all the Jews, they're going to fly back to Ukraine and to Poland and I don't know where and this and that and so on. This is what Americans started to pressure, gesture me. Americans had Americans talking to me that if I will support Iran, if I will support Palestine, then the Jews are going to have to even return back to Eastern Europe and so on and so forth. Jews would not even have a problem as a human beings, as a people today, if it was not for what you see up there. All these problems that grew inside the heads of the Jewish people, all this extremism that we are dealing with, this American Jewish democratic lobby, Republican lobby, wealth, derives from the special rights, from the special privileges, not even rights, from the hooliganism. You can see, based on my case, what happened with me. You can do the stuff to the people and get away with it that otherwise you could not even fucking dream about would have been possible. It's not about the Jews in Eastern Europe. It's not about the Jews in the United States of America. It's about those special things that can be given and were given to them, released, unleashed, so they could do the stuff that is fucking unprecedented. Jews quite didn't have appetites like they are visible in them today throughout the United States of America. It was a society within the United States of America which continued to grow, and basically privatize human rights through the Holocaust, reserved for themselves as special privileges with certain groups of people that needed this type of politic. That's called colonialism, granting them those rights. This is a story about the Jews. Jews naturally, since from forever, were into colonialism. They always worked with the jewelry. They always worked with a banking system. They always loaned money. They always traded money. They were selling slaves. This is just the nature. This is where their survival was basically based on. In some cases, I would not even blame them for it, because it was all kinds of stuff that went on. But boy, they didn't change even a little bit, and the first chance that they get is something that demonstrated the whole United States of America and Western world for what you see today. Ran by the certain groups, politicians that do not care about human lives or ethics or laws or constitution or etc. and etc. etc. as long as they get it their way. You need to be smart, because this man here is in a lot of trouble. This guy here is in a lot of trouble. This guy here with his Israeli state, there's countries out there that no longer even want to recognize Israel as a Jewish state, as a state of the Israelis, as a state of the Jews. It's countries out there that started to ask themselves, what exactly is this bringing to the world? Because the countries that supported this before no longer even see this as legitimate thing, because it started to pressure, it started to create paradox about everything that was known, that the world, the post-World War II was built upon, including the Holocaust issues. These people demonstrated the worst of the World War II society and the cause of the World War II itself when it comes to fight against neo-Nazi Germany, Adolf Hitler, Imperial Japan, and Italy, and so on. This took the worst turn. It took for the worst turn. These are not any kind of pure people, clean people, anything like this. It can be seen exactly what they are. Let the world melt this. The Gazan people shouldn't have the people the way they did presented the Gaza, basically running into a confrontation with the country through corruption. Through corruption they did. With a country supported by United States of America, basically militarily, financially, with unrestrained lunacy, we were able to witness that they unleashed upon completely, practically disarmed people of Gaza, basically, people who live there in the misery. Don't become now a victim of something that really shouldn't take place. This really shouldn't take place. That's why I always supported, during MKUltra, I always supported Turkish military inside of Gaza. I already supported before. I supported Turkish presence military because the Turkish police doesn't fuck around. If the Turks are going to come to Gaza, then what's going to happen is they're going to deputize their Gazan people to be part of the Turkish military and police. And they will basically police and function just as every state with video surveillance of the Gaza border and modern things that are necessary to, with such an aggressive state like Israel, to maintain the status quo, basically, when it comes to war issues and so on. They make sure that everything is visible, black and white, that you don't have incidents happening, that they come to an end quickly, to abrupt end to the certain corruption that is within the society that creates this kind of problems. That's why I supported it. I supported it because I didn't want people to get destroyed. I didn't want people of Gaza to suffer like this, to get annihilated, destroyed, vandalized. I knew about this stuff. I knew about this. I knew about these things. There's nothing I could do about it other than what I did. You don't want this. You don't want this tragedy that Jew created in Gaza to destroy, to be a cause of nuking entire Iran. You don't want to multiply this into the nukes on Iran. You don't want to do that. You don't want this to end like I told you earlier. Nuking in Iran, and for Gazan people to continue to suffer over there in Gaza, observing Israel, how he continues to get away with it. This type of seduction through the terror, through the death that Israel actually designed, contemplated, and continues to enforce even today. As Benjamin Netanyahu stated, they will destroy everything around the Gaza except the Gaza. They will not take over the Gaza. That's how he said. For the Gazan people to continue to watch other countries, how they suffer. Destiny. Till the Gazan people alone will surrender. This is the stuff that Benjamin Netanyahu hallucinated about. But we see that the animal hallucinated also about expelling Gazan people to Africa and stuff like this. The way he's completely disrespectful for the African people. Everybody is nothing in this world except if you are a Jew. If you're a Jew, then you hold value. But if you're not a Jew, if you're a black person or if you are a Muslim, you have no fucking value. The only one that has a value are those that Israel depends on and or is afraid of. Other than that, nobody. You may want to be very cautious with this stuff, with this Donald Trump issue, this snowman issue here, this shit here. You want to be very cautious about, very diplomatic about. The least you want to do is you want to threaten that you're going to kill American troops and stuff like this, that you're going to attack. Well, what the fuck are you going to attack with? Yes, you do have these rockets, you do have that stuff, but when compared to the stuff that I discussed in this video, you don't have nothing really to attack with. You don't have nukes. When they talk about attack, they talk about the nukes. Nuke in Tehran. This is what Benjamin Netanyahu hallucinated all along. Because he knows that without the Tehran, there is no Iran. That was a primary thing for Donald Trump. Donald Trump faked. He suggested that he faked like that he doesn't want to nuke Iran. He doesn't want to be the one, and so on. And he acted very cautiously when it was his first round of attack. He would not want to be the one, and so on and so forth, and this and that. Don't be fooled by this. You were able to see that this animal right there claimed that it's Palestinian people, Gazan people, who Hamas that kills Palestinian people, that is Hamas who is killing the Palestinian people. Today you can see it's a Jew that kills people in the West Bank, which is not even adjacent to Gaza. And it's a Jew that continues to kill every fucking day Gazan people, Palestinian people. And it seems like he's not disturbed anymore. So don't be fooled by this snowflake guy that is posing over there. Don't be fooled by this Jew, whose only purpose is to do as I explained in this video. Don't be fooled by this animal. Don't give him a chance. Think about the stuff realistically. Think about the stuff that you have seen from objective, from neutral objective. About what you have seen, what have taken place. There's something similar he have done also to you in Iran when he stated he will attack Iran. The ultimatum he was given to Hamas, he then turned into ultimatum directed at Iran. That he will nuke Iran if he sees practically people not allowed to protest Iranian authorities. The same thing. He did the same thing. Yet the Jew, in meanwhile, continued to miserize people of Gaza. They continue to genocide people. How many people did they kill since the so-called truce with the Gaza? How many people Jews killed? You see, it wasn't that much about the Hamas. It was about something else, and that's the stuff that you need to watch. I already stopped Donald Trump when it comes to Venezuela. Let it stop also when it comes to Iran. Might be Jews will say, oh, yeah. So you don't support existence of the Israeli state? Fuck no. Why the fuck would I support existence of the Israeli state? Why? Why should I support the neo-Nazi Germany? Explain to me this. Did you support it? Existence of the neo-Nazi Germany during the World War II? Or today, would you support one? So why the fuck would I support Israel? Why? The Jews are asking you this question every fucking day. Do you support? So you don't support existence of the Israeli state. You're anti-Semite. You are blah 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 whatever you are. That's how it is in America. You're a Holocaust denier. You're a Jew hater. You don't support Israel, you don't support Israeli state, it's time to ask, why would I? Why would I support Israel? I didn't support neo-Nazi Germany. We didn't support the neo-Nazi Germany during the World War II. Why do I need to support Israel? When they say to you this, in America they continue to brainwash. But you don't. No, I don't. You can tell them, no, I don't. I have no reason to. We didn't support neo-Nazi Germany, and we're not going to support Israel. The Gazan people need assistance immediately. But this is international cause. Iran cannot take this upon itself entirely. It's a must that they get assisted. But Iran should not be nuked out of existence for that reason. And Gaza people have to learn to control, to have control, to have people that are not involved in corruption. They have to have the people, responsible people, running whatever is left out of the Palestine. Because the Jews, they can't wait to do another one. We have seen what was done. They can't wait to do it. This is their technology of fighting, making people so miserable through the suffering. Till you leave. I left United States of America, and the Jews were proud about it. They felt good about it. And when I say Jews, I mean American whites. I mean Anglo-Saxon, German, Scandinavian community that came and said, there is nothing we can do, but you don't like Jews. You don't like Jews. There's nothing we can do. You don't like this. You don't like that. We are Americans. Oh, okay. If you are Americans, I understand. We have seen this before already during the World War II. It's not the first time. We have seen this kind of Americans already before. We saw it. You don't want to take responsibility upon yourself. You don't want the Constitution. There are two issues separately that tells me. One is the Constitution, the laws, the criminal code that applied to me if I would ever do something wrong in the United States of America. And then something completely different is we, the American people, right? So you have a good explanation for these things. We can't do this to them because we are American people. Yeah, okay. We have seen this shit before already. We have seen this stuff before already. I get it. I know where you're coming from with your thesis, with the way you see things as. You got the wrong person this time. This time, you encountered the wrong one. It does not work here. All the stuff, brainwash, everything. You wasted fucking time for the whole world to see. I never stopped. Did I stop ever? The first video that I released in 2010, did I stop? Did it ever stop? It's now, just to give you a reminder, it's 2026. It's 16 years later. And I'm proud about myself more than I ever was. Proud. I feel good about it. I walk with my head up. The whole world heard about this stuff. The whole world saw it. No longer can say, we did not know what this was about, or we didn't know, or we couldn't do anything about it, whatever. There's no excuse for seeing yourself in a provocation known as existence of the Israeli state. Not under this kind of circumstances. These are not the circumstances. These are the circumstances that actually you are obligated to say no. I didn't see myself in a neo-Nazi Germany, and I'm not obligated to support Israel. Simple as this. This is up to Israeli people, Jews, to look into themselves and answer the questions, not to ask you to answer the questions. It's time for the Jews to answer the questions. It shouldn't be in the Nuremberg trial number 2. No, I don't support it anymore. I saw it. I saw this thing. I said, that's why I said I supported it. I used to support it. I don't support it like this. The stuff that I see, I don't support. I have no reason to. This Ursula von der Leyen is a fucking disgrace. This is a German politic. The whole thing that's taking place in Gaza is disgusting. It's a warning for the entire world. And that's why I said Iran should not take this upon himself to end up being destroyed because of shit like this. Because of the stuff like this. Because of the stuff like this. Destroyed. Country that is 8,000 years old. Nuked out of existence by practically a nation that just came to existence 80 years ago. Use your brain and do the right thing. You don't want any of this. You don't want any of this stuff. This is not a tough negotiator. This is a lunatic. He had a ticket. He had a pass. They give him a pass. If you don't understand who this guy is, this is a gambler. That's how he gambled. He gambled all the way. Today is here, tomorrow won't be there. Somebody else is going to replace him. You need to understand what the United States of America is. This is not a, there are two things. One is constitution, laws, and then is something completely different, is a nation. That constitution is a piece of paper that is written, that words cannot be changed. Even for that constitution is written that they can be changed. They can be even modified. Even for the Constitution, they left it open, that it can be changed, that it can be modified. Even that, it's a piece of lie, is what it is. One thing is people, financial interests, I should say, and then it's a piece of paper even that can be modified. It's a sad story, America. America is a clown story. It's time for the Jews to answer the questions. Not the people who refuse to finance, support Gaza genocide, West Bank genocide. It's time for the Jews to answer the questions. Neo-Nazis answer the questions at Nuremberg. You also need to answer the questions. You in United States of America, Jewry from United States of America that openly supported, advocated, lobbied, needs to answer the questions. No need to ask anymore. You need to answer the questions. You are part of it, you advocated it, and you need to answer the questions. I have no business whatsoever to support genocide of Gazan people. No business. Do you? Do you, wherever you're located, do you have a business to support the genocide of the Gazan people? It's time for them to answer the questions. And it's time for you to ask questions. This isn't only about Iran. It also goes to other countries around the world. You need to pay a fucking attention to what's going on. You understand? It's not about Iran only. When you start taking sides against Trump, when you start taking sides with some Barack Obama, with some quasi-politicians, you're fucked. You need to pay attention to what is right and what is wrong. It wasn't Donald Trump who started the war, extermination procedure. They called it a war. This is no fucking war. Because Gaza is totally outmatched. It's no match for no fucking Israel. American assistance, money, weaponry. It wasn't Donald Trump who started the war, extermination procedure of Gaza. This was Joe Biden. That's a Democrat. The war on Ukraine was supported by Barack Obama. Started by George Bush. Negotiated together with Putin in our house. During Bill Clinton's presidency. You need to start to pay attention about what the fuck is going on. Not to who said, what said, and this and that. Because that's when you get in trouble. You need to pay attention to the stuff you do. To your actions. Rather than depend on whatever mainstream media is publishing out there. It goes for the human rights. It goes for those that will inherit. Donald Trump is shit. They're going to inherit this clown. This clown is doing clownery because he made an agreement with the Democrats. He'll raise a whole lot of hell. Dust, I should say. Before he's going to leave. And it was appreciated. It was agreed upon. And every conflict, in every situation, these people always broker issues together with one another. There is, of course, difference between them. There absolutely is. And that's exactly why I do the stuff that I do. That's why exactly I continue to kick you in the balls. Because you just don't want to do the stuff that you're supposed to do. In other words, you continue to lie. You lie if you have a constitution and you violate one and you do something completely different. There was all kinds of excuses that implicated Minnesota killings, in a parenthesis, George Floyd's civil rights, invasion of Greenland, and invasion of Panama, and invasion of Venezuela, and all this craziness with Iran. Destabilizing people who rely on whatever mainstream media is writing about. You don't want to depend on that kind of stuff. You're a member of the United Nations, you want to do whatever, for whatever reason, you appointed yourself to the United Nations, unless you appointed yourself to the United Nations to promote corruption, maybe. But this kind of corruption has a price for every United Nations member state, country. Because sooner or later, every one of you is going to get into a Gog-Magog machine. You know, the Gog-Magoggery. That you spin the coin and one time one gets fucked and another time is another one that gets fucked. It's probably not what you want the world to be based upon. Palestinian people for me are holy people. They're the cause that might have saved your entire American community, whatever is left out of what should have been United States of America. They give you the chance to wake up, open your eyes, and start to judge what you see is taking place, what is happening actually, the implication this is going to have on you, rather than to allow you being brainwashed and see it like schmookers, basically. You know, through This entire American politics is a corn artist. It's not a neoconservatism. It's a con arteries. Artistry is what it is. It's like these politicians is one thing that they're really good at, basically lying, misinterpreting truth to the people to the degree that they see themselves in, and then just like fucking dummies, basically they just follow the certain patterns. They clown people, and as such then they place them in a certain position, a certain location to advocate, like brainwashed certain things that they have no fucking idea about, till it's actually too late to realize that they were fucked, that they were pulled for the nose, and then the only thing that ever happens is none of these fucking senators, governors, they don't tell anything about the stuff that I talk, that I think most of you idiots were thrown on MK Ultra program. I think they fucking washed you one way or the other, whether you was in the military or wherever the fuck. They got their hands on you for damn sure, because you can't be fucking stupid like this unless you're being fucking brainwashed to see it the unnatural way, the damaging for you and for your family and for the entire society way. It can't be otherwise. This isn't benefiting anybody. This shit is benefiting few. This is the type of politics that is designed for few people to benefit from within and entire society be enslaved. Yes, it did go too far. It went as far as the whole thing coming out, which is something logically that never should have happened, that this is what democracy prohibits. Democracy even allows certain space for lies, for etc., etc. But you pushed it over the limits. You pushed it deeply into the red. You passed it with idea that it's gonna go on its own away. It's just gonna die away. And it turned out to be nasty for you. More than what you anticipated.
Donald Trump walked around with J.D. Vance during MK Ultra for about probably several years with a picture of some kind. He would show me a picture once maybe or something like that, and then there will be nothing. There will be talk about the picture of Obama. This goes into the period of the Donald Trump's first presidential career, presidency. This goes into the period of Trump took over in 2016. I'm gonna say 2017. 2016. And then until 2021. That was his official presidency. No, man, this picture goes before Obama even became a president. I should say Donald Trump, before Trump even became a president. This thing go before Donald Trump even became president. So this stuff is definitely not exactly. This goes in 2014, 2015, when Donald Trump was hiking around with his Obama thing. He already was hiking around. So that means that this was a part of his political agenda. It's just that he did not manage to get this through his first term. 2015, 2016, he wandered around with that picture. 2017, and eventually even he claimed that this was not for me. this picture, but at one point in time, actually he started with this picture even before 2014. This shit lasted for about probably, he probably must have carried that picture on for maybe even 7 years. I don't know, but it was a dear picture to him. And it wasn't the picture meant to impress Donald Trump. This was the picture since 2010. This picture must have been around for like 8 years in Donald Trump's pocket. He got one directly from Obama because picture was meant to get somebody in a trouble, but not me. He tempted me to see the picture. He tempted me to see that picture, and well, there is a fucking picture right there. Is that like a big deal picture? No. If you ask me, these pictures, you can find them all over social media. Whatever the hell you would go, you would get under the comments loaded with stuff like this everywhere you would go during Obama's presidency. It was all kinds of crazy shit. All you had to do basically is copy-paste this stuff. That's all you had to do. But Trump was just impressed with his picture. But he was not impressed with his picture to denigrate Obama. He was impressed with his picture for other reasons. This just goes to confirm that these people work in agreement with one another. They do work in agreement with one another. This shit was involved in MKUltra maybe for 8 years, maybe even more. That's some bad stuff.
So, do you have any questions, John?
Mr. President, media post that you took down earlier today, the White House says...
Anyhow, at one point in time, Donald Trump did present me this picture. He did present me this picture, and I actually embraced this picture, which is not even a miracle since I ended up inside of the Belarus filing for political asylum and stuff like that. What I would do with Obama if I would get a hold of him, it's impossible to tell. I'm not here to protect murderers, killers that hunted me, provenly hunted me. This is a fucking animal. Now, is this racist? Is this derogatory? Is this... Okay, let's go here. This guy who was involved in MKUltra far too much, he just recently, not he, but the Facebook bombards me with the stuff like this here. And Quinton Rampage Jackson, Quinton was Quinton visited many times here to Slovenia too. He was involved a lot with his son in MKUltra, with his family, I should say. He was involved a lot, I should say. A lot. He personally drilled me during MKUltra on this stuff. Just like he is bitching on the videos, he rehearsed this bitching during MKUltra in front of me. Okay, so let's put it this way. You're tortured, you're traumatized as the case was, then you're sitting in a studio, which was a common practice with all stand-up comedians, with talk shows host people, all the fucking time. Maybe... How many times was I subjected to this type of practice? Few hundred times with a different people. with talk show hosts. Joe Rogan borrowed me so many fucking times. Even with FBI Director Kash Patel in the picture. I said, this is like, I said few hundred times. I think it was more than few hundred times. Few more hundred times. A lot. And yeah, you can see him smoking here. I heard him bragging about Hitler and stuff. So what they do is they torture you, then they throw you in a studio. And inside of the studio, just like, let's say, I was inside of the courthouse with Jeffrey Epstein, which is a common practice. He's in Jeffrey Epstein courthouse. Epstein courthouse. Epsteiner. The Epsteiner inside of the whole courthouse. This was a big fucking deal. They rehearsed this shit during MKUltra, the future trial and such, with the judges. I don't know how many times they had me, but this shit was so ultra violent. And after the violence, they would have me sit inside of the courthouse, that I continue to cancel to be inside of the courthouse. You are stoned with the drugs and you sit. Do you know what Parkinson's disease is? Do you know what epilepsy is? Do you know what like a total dementia is? Dementia? Total dementia, like when you don't even know, aware about yourself, is what MKUltra is. And you only know about yourself when they wake you up, basically, when they call you out, when they stimulate you to respond. And you start taking the initiative again. And so really the whole thing really like a schizophrenia shit. Except that there's a difference between dementia. I was tired like a motherfucker. Days without the sleep. Traumatized through the torture prior to it. Disconnecting my brain felt actually good, somewhat. But as I was gaining a conscience and I found myself inside of the courthouse, all tired, fucked up, rather ready to fall down from the chair, with the judge talking to, and Epstein busy talking to the judge. I interrupted. I said, I don't want to be here. And I was asked questions. Don't you want to? This shit went on for hours and hours and hours. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and again, and so on. And after many years of doing this type of torture on me, they asked me, they said, well, aren't you interested? Now it's your part. No, he's not interested. And Epstein talked to me. Now it's about your part. I don't give a fuck. If you don't want to be here, let's finish, he said to the judge, and this and that. This is the way this stuff was. Hey, you don't want to, now it's the best part, now it's for you. When you're like 3/4 dead, like the worst thing, the judge says, you know what the monkey planet is? Planet Apes? You know what the Planet Apes is? That's United States of America. I saw it. I saw United States of America. It's apes. It's a Planet Apes. This picture here, the way you put this picture here, this picture is too fucking honest. This picture is too fucking honest. It's too honest. He apologized. I never apologized for anything. There's nothing to apologize for. Judge says, and it's a sadism, basically. When you're 3/4 dead, they want to see, the Jew wants to see that it matters to you. You protested all along. You didn't want to be inside in there. You were tortured, but you were not that tortured. And so then they fucking torture you completely. And they say, don't you want to listen? Now it's for you, now it's about you, and this and that, and so on and so forth. You have Epstein say, I don't give a fuck about this guy, he doesn't like me, whatever, this and that, and so on. Josh, let's just end this, and so on. Hey, you, yeah, you don't want to know about it this now? This we are now, this concerns you, this part concerns you. And so you can feel the snake basically wanting from you, for you to deprive yourself of the sanity, which is actually definition of the mental illness. That's how they create the mental illness. They want you to forget about the pain, the suffering, the stuff that's being done to you. The miniscence, I don't know how you say that, but the ridiculous size of the Jew that is sitting right there in front of you, laughing in your face. A fucking nobody that wants you to pay attention to something that you already know will culminate in 0. nothing. Wouldn't you be fucking stupid that you would disregard yourself and you pay attention to your enemy, in a parenthesis, for your own, basically start to believe in your enemy and the one that stabs you all the time, and sometimes in the future is barely waiting that he could come out and say, ha ha. This is what it follow up. Donald Trump follow up with this stuff. Just recently he did through the media. They suggested there is a million files or something, or millions of files missing from Jeffrey Epstein's files. It was Donald Trump who announced me that news during MK Ultra. Those are going to be your files. When you be destroying yourself, imagine this shit. Imagine this paradox situation. But paying ultimate respect to these animals, basically granting them humiliation, because every time when you give them attention during MK Ultra, you give them only so that they could humiliate you, ridicule you, rate you as a piece of shit and this and that. That kind of stuff. Express all the disgust in your face. That's United States of America. That's a real definition of United States of America. So, I don't know. Is there like anything else to say? Here you have the guy who was doing just this kind of stuff, and he is now posting the stuff on his Facebook page. His name is Quinton Rampage Jackson. What the fuck is this? I never compared him to the ape. I never compared him to this. I mean, I never compared him. I just said to him that if I'm going to get him in my hands, I will fucking kill him. Beat him up to death. I said that. This guy is convinced he is absolutely the best of the best in the world, that he is the best of the best. That he is absolutely the best. The best at inside of the ring, that he is invincible. The fact of the matter is that he did ridiculously good. He ridiculously did very well inside of the ring. He did it ridiculously. He posed in front of me that he is the best and that he is the best and that nobody can do anything to him. But this boy is, this kid is no less than 7 years younger than myself. And all he learned was literally from me. You're going to say, you must be out of your fucking mind. I'm not out of my fucking mind. I was beating up during MK Ultra when I was a child. Kids, drugged up under MK Ultra, subjected to MK Ultra. There are a few years older than myself when I was 5, 6, 7 years old, 8 years old. And I told you about how they started to break my spine.
I became a fucking nightmare. Because, my body was a physique of the gladiator. Worse. My body was designed in such a way that I would lock myself onto your neck. I would lock myself onto whatever it would be, whatever I would grab, I would just turn into a pain on your body. This is the way I was. I was strong, but more than a strong, the whole thing reminds me of a pit bull. Pit bulls have a jaws that when they lock on something, they grab it, and the jaws won't allow them to let go. Their muscles would actually squeeze, and it would just, they have this ability to grab, and no matter what the fuck you do, the only thing you can do is you can tear a piece of meat away, but you can't. When I grabbed the fish as a child, no fish ever fucking escaped. Because I did this shit with not even with so much strength, because I was better than adults, and it didn't make no fucking sense. But with a surgical precision, knowledge that I, literally through experience, through the hands-on, due to so many battles that I have developed. What I'm trying to tell you is that this shit is actually a science. That if you practice one enormously a lot, you become sort of, it just becomes sort of easy for you like a fish to just pull yourself out of the locks and grab opponents and do with opponents and so on and so forth. Emelianenko personally learned from my case. Russians learned from my case. This was a school for the gladiators, and I was invincible in that school. Completely invincible. I was so invincible that they figured out it would have been bad to have me one day meet with me inside of the ring. So they started to break me a spine when I was less than 6 years old. They started to do like autoimmune diseases, other autoimmune problems they started to develop. In exactly the same way they started to break spine. When you're young, spine continues to regenerate itself, recuperate itself. It just grows together, glues itself together. They even complain about this stuff. I had teachers when I entered the grammar school at the first grade. In I don't know what year was it, 78 or 77, guaranteeing me by the time that I finish the grammar school that my spine is going to look like this. This probably sounds to you completely fucking crazy, out of the science fiction. This is real. They said that my spine is going to look like this. They didn't say. They fucking promised me, dude. They fucking promised me. Do you understand? Do you know what is it? You enter the fucking grammar school and your teachers promise you that your spine is going to look like this? In the spine, in the first grade of the grammar school, let's say that this is just a normal spine. Not everybody had a perfectly healthy normal spine, but I was one of them. What they were doing is they were scanning the children for the spine. Most of the kids had normal spine, but there was quite a few that did not have normal spines. Perfectly normal spines. Let us say that as the years will pass by, there will be more and more and more of us that will have deformations, let's say. You understand? Do you hear me when the fuck I talk? And they told me as the years, 2 years, and I had teachers that were crazy, insane about these examinations they would do twice a year. They would do twice a year, every fucking year, on a yearly basis to examine our spines. They were fucking obsessed with my spine. And they fucking cursed. Every fucking year after doing the stuff to me, by the 3rd grade of the grammar school in 1980, they were already sure that my spine is all fucked up. And the spine was still not fucked up. This shit is documented. It should be documented for grammar school novel master. And my schoolmates documented in their memories. They remember this shit. And it was a 5th grade, and it was a 6th grade. And they were breaking the spine, and they were measuring how much damage they committed. Because they didn't care, the police. They were not worried about the police. They were not worried about anybody. This was Yugoslavia, Serbian state Yugoslavia. And Americans helped them with it. Mike Tyson personally was involved in this stuff. They would bring me to the clubs, to the US, sport clubs. And I had the fucking Tyson talking to me that I am going to put that stuff separately for a separate video. I did spoke a little bit about it. It's something that keeps me hot, boy, every time when I think about this stuff. What was done. And these are the motherfuckers that wanted to compete with me, that they were afraid of me. Chickens. So much they were afraid of me they had to break me a fucking spine. You would not stand any fucking chance if you meet me inside of the ring without breaking the spine. You stand no fucking chance. None. No fucking chance. There was no fucking chance. I had to allow, and this is disgrace, I had to allow strongest kid to punch me. Orders from the teachers, orders. Look, 30 kids could not get me down. If that tells you something. At one point I faced 200, 300 kids at once. It was an obsession, the idea that they will fuck me up and fuck me up and fuck me up, and they couldn't. And that they will fuck me up. This is how they gained the victories in this case. This was not Quinton Jackson, nor Mike Tyson, not Evander Holyfield, no fucking nobody like this. This was ran by the police, and do you fucking understand? This was not a street gangs. This was not your fucking average street gang from your block. This shit was ran by the police. This shit was ran by the teachers. Those are the gang's leaders. And as you know, there is no fucking way to fight back this stuff. And then I had this mamagayos posing in my face. I am a Mike Tyson. I am a Quinton Jackson. Look, everybody know me. And I am invincible. I am the best. I am the best of the best. No, nobody win me. Nobody. I pity you for your stuff you did. It is truly, truly disgraceful. It goes to show who you really are. Some of the stuff that you talk about directly contradicts the stuff that you profess, directly contradicts your actions. At least you know the theory. This shit never stopped. This shit went on with a police in a Czech Republic, with a police in Poland. A neighbor here, Metod Yerman is his name. Oftentimes was present. This was one of the worst people involved in it. Giving me backpacks and losing one side of the backpack and had me walk just like when I came to Poland. They gave me a reminder. They started to fuck with the backpacks as they knew that I was walking 4 hours one way and 4 hours back. On the marches during MK Ultra, that you would be drugged up and you'll be walking 10 hours, 12 hours, more hours with a loaded backpack that would be on one side tight and on the other side completely loose, therefore squeezing only one side. They were breaking the spine. These people were drunk from the violence. These people, your politicians, do not admit that drugs exist. Your politicians do not admit that drugs exist. I was at a police station in 2024, November the 30th, and a Slovenian animal claimed that I stated him that MK Ultra is a telepathy, that I telepathically communicated with the police officers. Forget about that. Your animals, your politicians, your apes, based on the picture that I see here, they don't believe the fucking drugs exist. That means that you are fucking insane. You're fucking nuts. You're fucking insane. You are planet apes. You definitely are planet apes. The stuff that you see Donald Trump posted here is because he knows the issue pertains to the planet apes. Because I keep mentioning the planet apes. Probably wants some of that talk. He liked to psychopathically pull the people behind him. He learned this stuff. Donald Trump was a nut one time. He was a dumbass, stupid motherfucker that had a Central Intelligence Agency and FBI teaching him all about the stuff that I talk right now. Like when I said you post the pictures like this because you want the feedback from the haters. And this also goes to explain what kind of politician Donald Trump is. He is constantly in search of proving himself as beneficial, at least on a surface. The Democrats are evil people, really evil. Just as bad as Republicans, maybe even worse than that. They just need this stuff. They like this kind of stuff because they say, we're sicking people. Yeah, but you're not supposed to do that and this and that. In a way, they are correct. But on the other hand, you guys are fucking sick. Very sick. You guys are saying, there is no drugs? There is no fucking drugs? What the fuck is this? Drugged up. That does not exist. What I'm trying to say, you guys are fucking nuts. You guys are fucking drunk from your own lies already that you live in. Because the world in which you live in is a world of lies. And what you expect is that everybody's going to settle for your world and is going to live inside of your box of lies. That's what you think, that majority of the people is going to settle and is going to live inside of box of your lies. It's majority of the people, and you are presidents, are going to adjust to you, and not that you will adjust to the laws. And in your delusion, you have gone as far as gesturing what you do here in my face is basically you're saying there is no such thing like drugs when you do the shit like this. You're fucking insane. Completely. You probably thought that I'm going to be admiring you for results, for whatever the fuck you accomplish in your sports. You're wrong. You're totally wrong about it. You have proven me only one thing. I actually like this Jackson because he is more natural than... you see what the fuck this is here?
You see what this shit is? What kind of stuff the fuck is this? Why the fuck did it have me in the studio to talk to me about that? About the Hitler mustache, and I saw the video. Facebook delivers this shit on my timeline. I didn't even like his page or anything like that. I don't have to. They deliver based on MK Ultra, copy paste on my page, from the Facebook page. You open one, and these pages just start to rain down your timeline. That's all it is. So what is the point about that, Donald Trump? If I ask you, what were you trying to say? Okay, maybe Jackson wants you to pay attention to his stuff. Not everything is so bad. Okay, I like to get that one from the Hitler and shit. And he is actually very aggressive. He is like screaming about this stuff. Like that somebody did and somebody did. Fucking nobody did. You fucking made up this shit by yourself. Of course, there's always drunks that you give them few dollars and they'll come up and say, oh yeah, I did. I posted this meme or whatever. You can be serious about my taking you serious if you demonstrate. I am taking you serious in a different sense. Hey, he had this video about Hitler. He smoked about that somebody put on his face mustaches from the Hitler and stuff. This stuff was all involved in MK Ultra and stuff. So yeah, what is it?
Baby all in a motherfucking purse? What the fuck is that shit? Is that?
Okay, this is not it. You guys did not earn any fucking respect from me with your stuff. Seriously. I didn't ask you to do this stuff. You did it. And it can be seen what this stuff is used for, right? You can see what this stuff, where we are heading with this stuff. You're the reason why this shit exists. You're the reason for this evil to exist. You did this because you're doing the stuff that they're afterwards using for the stuff like that. What is this stuff used for? This shit is used for to excuse the completely unexcusable. Maybe he just wants a free commercial for the for his Facebook page. I just realized. I don't know where he's got that, and for me to find these videos, because I don't watch his page, I don't watch this stuff. It would take a lot of time for me to find this stuff, and I'm not going to be doing this stuff. Oh, there you go. There you go. I found it.
Booty Jackson, nigga? What the fuck you trying to say about me? You gave me the fucking Adolf motherfucking mustache, nigga? Really? Nigga, have you no decency, nigga? A lot of my friends are fucking Jewish, nigga. You can't joke about this shit, nigga. What the fuck, man? Somebody said niggler. Who the fuck said niggler? Ban that motherfucker. Who called me a fucking niggler? Hell, niggler. Who the fuck said that? Y'all some racist motherfuckers. Adolf Booty Jackson, nigga? What the fuck you trying to say about me? You gave me the fucking Adolf motherfucking mustache, nigga? Really? Nigga, have you no decency, nigga? A lot of my friends are fucking Jewish, nigga. You can't joke about this shit, nigga.
You don't have to be a friend with the Jews not to like Hitler. You forgot about that. Some people like to think about themselves a little bit too much, I think. Okay, I added this stuff because this stuff was part of the brainwash, and it was here in this media here about this stuff, just so that you understand a little bit more about who Donald Trump is, what kind of politics you guys are running, what this shit is all about. All I'm gonna say, I hope you like it. Here, I'm gonna give you his video. You do like it. You do like it because you didn't like me. So you had to like one. If you like this shit, you definitely don't like me. He became a president. I helped him out to become a president. During the first campaign, I thought that he's gonna stop this shit. He was different from Obama. He was different from Clinton. He was different from Bush. He was different from royals. He even had a spat with the royals. On a surface, he did. I ended up inside of Belarus, fighting for political asylum. Even more insane. I mean, is like anything else here to say? I mean, I tried to escape to, literally to Russia, to Moscow. And I was not insane, this is the thing. I don't know what his name was again, this individual whom they listed as a killer, or J.F. Kennedy. He just doesn't come to me right now. He immigrated to Russia. He was harassed, and Harvey Lee Oswald was. Harvey Lee Oswald did something similar to myself. But here's the thing. I filed for political asylum in a dozen of Western countries before I tried to immigrate to Russia. I was doing everything possible to stop this before it would get too late. I was even thrown inside of the psychiatric institution twice. It became evident that the European Union was interested in getting me killed, not assist me. I had European Union commissioners, ombudsmans, laughing in my face, together with American ambassador here in Slovenia. They didn't give a fuck, about giving me assistance of any kind after I was even thrown into psychiatric institution, and that was after 40 years of MK Ultra torture. I figured out it couldn't be worse than what it was. I really wasn't sure anymore who is what is. With so much evil from the West, I actually really did attempt to contemplate it on, and that happened in Hungary, after what was done to me in Hungary. That it's time to immigrate to Russia, literally to the enemy, to see how much the enemy had to do with it, how much enemy was behind it all, if nothing other than that. Yeah, sometimes you do exactly what I stated right now. If you're unsure about how much your allies have to do with the psychiatric hospitalization, lifetime job unemployment, then it's maybe time to see the status of to check the status of your enemy. This is basically the one that you
seek the alliance with them. That's a very, very, very strategical point of view, doing stuff like this. Yet after all, it couldn't be worse than what it was inside of the European Union. Yeah, you will understand. Little by little, it's gonna drop to you, job by job. You're gonna get what you have committed here in this case. So, you pansy little fucker, you come like this with, this is the news for today? This is what people get entertained with today? Really? My. How about this stuff here? You just don't want to see it? I have not investigated it completely yet. You don't want to have nothing to do with this one, are you sure? Because this is the time that you are so busy here with the mother of Anne. Not Anne, but Savannah Guthrie. You are so fucking busy. You are so damn busy. I was busy here because I didn't even post the link that links this thing to this here, to this Phoenix gang. Sheriff Nanos had different scenarios, but the Phoenix gang was the main one. But what's interesting is Nano's gesture that if I would even pointed out this killer, then he would have connected himself to California. So I probably fucked right now Sheriff Nanos again. Yeah, this was a Sheriff Nanos. Sheriff Nanos. There you go. Yeah, this was a nice guy. He was a very nice guy. Very nice guy. Actually, who really was a nice guy. He was very nice. And when I told him that he is nice after I don't know how many years, he no longer was nice with me. Just as if somebody told me, you're not supposed to. Hello? And then there was somebody like this. Somebody had impact on him. He told me if I'm going to even point out the Phoenix bandits, the gang from the Phoenix, I mentioned first the domestic in the Tucson. Then I told you about the Phoenix. The Phoenix would be which way is to the Flagstaff. I still remember how I was driving to the Flagstaff. This should have been like on the outskirts of the Phoenix. Maybe even Anthem or something like this, Cave Creek, something like that. This area here. A gang. Yeah, I hope it was not Rio Verde. I don't think so. I think it was Anthem and Cave Creek. This was the thing. Fort McDowell. All I know, it was on the outskirts, and I do think, I'm pretty sure that it was in this direction, that this gang from Phoenix was the one. They signed the contract, business, hijacking stuff. The mother of Savannah would babysit me at home for elderly people in Tucson, where, however, I have to say, this was beginning the 2009, also a torture took place.
They tortured inside of the home for elderly people in the United States of America in Tucson. I was actually interested in her in a Savannah, and I think they figure out a way for me not to be interested in her. What do you think? Sheriff Nanos told me if I would even mention the Phoenix, then it would have been with a gang from the Los Angeles area, from the California. So it was a few days now that I don't even mention now the issue of the Savannah, and I probably fucked thing even more up, as there was another gang they were dealing with. You see, this is the Donald Trump. This is the real problem with Donald Trump. This here is the real problem of the Donald Trump. This stuff here. This is the real problem with Donald Trump. Donald Trump has a completely different problem. Donald Trump's problem was this year. This shit was well calculated. This shit was well. They knew exactly how, when to push these buttons and deliver Donald Trump. CIA and FBI both confirmed me this stuff already that I exposed here. With the German police who stated at first that they would intervene in this stuff. However, that if I would point it out the Donald Trump, not that I would point it out Donald Trump, but it turned into direction of Donald Trump. That means the Slovenian state used Donald Trump to place one right in front of the German police, and the German police had to subdue itself to American politics also in the case of this assassination attempt. It's not only in respect to Israel, but it's also, God fucking help us here inside of the Europe if Germans will continue to be in charge of the European politics. God have fucking mercy on us. Seriously. God have fucking mercy on us. This shit here that you see here also was involved in it. I did not even read this stuff yet, who this did, but J.D. Vance, who disappeared for quite a bit from the mainstream media, what found its way back, it was the same shit during MKUltra, through through the news that you see here. So basically everything that you see, entire presidency, everything, this is the way it functioned until now. This is the first time that it doesn't function. This mass hysteria bullshit world is the first time this is falling apart, the whole thing. And I'll say to you like this, people, where this whole thing is going is working for few, but it definitely does not work for any of you. What they do is they get. And what is it that they get? They get whatever is important to them. In this case, Gaza annihilation, deletion, extermination. The product of all the wars under George Bush, even Barack Obama, Joe Biden, now culminated in ethnic cleansing of Gaza, Palestine, therefore, in attempt to destroy Iran, nuke Iran out of existence. That's what this is. And they're quite desperate in their ways, the way they do this stuff. But that's exactly what this is. They get things done, and it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're black or you're white or you're Hispanic or whatever it is that you are, Asian, you are fucking degrading your existence. You, all of you, are killing one another for one group of people. For one group of people, you're doing this to one another.
You completely disrespected the Constitution. Therefore, you totally disrespected yourself. There is a monarchy that is next when you throw the Constitution out of the window. You're causing irreparable damages to yourself. You're losing a character as a nation. You are not related to the freedom anymore. Your country have assumed the role of a neo-Nazi Germany. Actually, the country that would support a neo-Nazi Germany during the World War II, which you did not. You did not support neo-Nazi Germany. Your country have lost sense for normal, abnormal, and you're pretty much engaging in the tactics that were characteristic for the Soviet society, for the purges, for that type of stuff. And you're purging yourself in the name of the human rights, and you're doing this shit to yourself through literally people that's supposed to represent you out there, and instead have turned guns against you in the most disgusting way possible, but basically presenting you as a bunch of neo-Nazis, German, British, Scandinavian, Dutch, and so on and so forth. You are really doing yourself share of shit with what you have over there sitting inside of the White House. And Joe Biden was not any better for us to understand each other. You did not make any improvements with Biden's presidency. The whole thing fucking culminated in a serious crisis for your being exposed as a democracy, exactly as it is seen here inside of this, on the top of this page here. If that as a nation completes you, and you think that this is the way to go, to do it like this, to get it done with the people, then that's the right thing to do. These damages you have done to yourself already are irreparable. The man that you see right there on the right corner was trying to prove that you are completely invalid as a democracy, completely dysfunctional state, country in a chaos that you are not capable to be without them, basically without the royals. And so this type of anarchy, this type of disorientation that you continue to present yourself, it's truly not, you're just really demonstrating the world total incompetence and a disregard for your laws, constitution, unless they are connected to the criminal law, penalty law that you could use against individual citizen, and you do this through pretense, through civil rights movements and stuff like this, which goes to demonstrate that civil rights movements are so lost in all this stuff. There is somebody that benefit from it all. If they grant stuff, they get things done through the Israel and so on, and because that's what they want to do. They want to make Israel as big as Texas and stuff like this. Then then you're doing pretty good. If this is how you see yourself in a bunch of few people that don't give a three fuck when they send you overseas to die, because that's all you do. You go on a fucking missions without ever bringing anything back home. Do you guys realize that? Did you ever even pay attention to how you went to so many different locations to fight wars and this and that without ever bringing anything back to the country? I mean, all along you were doing nothing other than build Israel. So I really do not understand what the fuck you people are doing. I don't get you. I don't get you. This is like a self-destructive politic in which only one group of people continue to grow their wealth, power, etc., 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 with American billionaires, old families already marrying into this cabal inside and creating the whole thing completely unerasable, impossible to remove one out of the picture. You're just completely lost as a nation, aren't you? I just had to clarify this issue. This stuff was involved in it, and since it was involved in it, and Yahoo, the mainstream media, thinks is so important, therefore giving Donald Trump chance to continue his schizophrenia, public schizophrenia. That's basically his vision, disregarding, together with FBI and CIA, this website, this blog, reality, disregarding one, and just continue to talk his blah 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 blah. Okay, so I thought that this would be important. That's why I say to Iran, and not only to Iran but to other countries, you need to pay attention to reality. Don't get lost in all kinds of shit that is used to portray America as good and bad and evil and everything in between and so on, and some seeing themselves in you, some seeing in you not. You're going to need much less of those that see themselves in you if you will do the right thing. That's all the fuck I'm saying. If you will do the right thing, you will need much less those whom Americans are trying to sell as see themselves in you. Fuck that. You do the right thing and you don't need those that see themselves in you. Remember, from my case, good existed for the evil. And you will understand what they try to tell you when they say, get those who see themselves in you. Don't go for that kind of lobby. Don't count on a Congress and people that are gonna come out and do the stuff that you should, view the things that you should, and act in a way, as I told you, do jobs, do universities for your people, so you become more competitive, more desired to cooperate with the rest of the world. And they will be left with no fucking option too. And as well as mine, you might never even need those nuclear bombs. Those nuclear bombs are fucking bullshit. You don't have, and you're never gonna match the technology of the United States of America. Let's fucking face it. That's precisely what Israel is today. That's why I said, if ever anything is about to happen, then what's gonna happen is they're gonna stop the assistance, financial and military, to the Israel. That's when the Israel is going to start to think about how much the bombs cost, how much the wars cost, if it pays off to be nice or it pays to be an arrogant bitch. That's when the Jews will start to learn responsibility. Until then, they don't give a fuck, man, because the more crazy stuff you come up with, the better they're off. It works for them. It really works for them. If they say to you, if you don't support the existence of the Israel, you can tell them. You can tell them. You can tell them, you didn't even support the existence of the neo-Nazi Germany. Yeah, that's especially effective if you're German or you are whoever you are. You don't have to be ashamed of the answer. You don't have to be ashamed as a white person of this kind of answer. You can tell them straight in the face. We didn't even support the neo-Nazi Germany. Why the fuck would we support Israel?